live in a few seconds right here. Awesome, I could see us on our Binance Live and across different social media platforms. Let me play our intro video and then we're going to begin our live session shortly. Hello everyone, GM and GM. Welcome to our live show on Binance Live across different social media platforms. Today we are live streaming on Binance Live, our YouTube Live, Twitch Live, as well as Twitter Live, and we're very happy to have Elliot, the CMO of Verasity, over here to talk about a very interesting topic. We would like to learn about how Verasity is transforming transparency in advertising through VeraViews and Proof of View. So there are a lot of terms that we definitely would like to have Elliot, the Verasity CMO, to help us and learn these things together, right? And first, we would like to welcome Elliot to introduce yourself, your role at Verasity, and also introduce the project to us. Thank you.
Hey Moonlight, and first off, thanks for having us. I think this is the first Binance Live AMA that we've done over at Veracity, so we're really excited. Obviously, it's grown hugely as a channel in the crypto space, and I think it's becoming really popular. Obviously, it matches up quite well with coin market cap communities as well, which we've really been pushing for the last year. It's also a great excuse for me to put a shirt on because obviously, as many of our listeners know, we work from home a lot. So I'm always happy to do video AMAs. I can get dressed up a little bit. So my name's Elliot. I'm CMO at Veracity. I've been with Veracity since the start of 2022. And I've worked in the crypto ecosystem now for around 7 years. So I got my start in crypto around the end of 2016, early 2017. I've been here for a few market cycles. I'm a little bit long in the tooth. So I've worked with a lot of different protocols, a lot of different projects. The most notable of which was the Cardano ecosystem. And so I joined the Cardano ecosystem when it was a 5 billion market cap project, and worked with them all the way up to 45 billion. I don't think that I had much part to play in that increase. Obviously, we're in a bull market, but who knows? And I've been with Veracity, as I say, since the beginning of 2022. One of the key reasons that I chose to work with Veracity is because I feel that of all the blockchain projects, out of over 4,000 blockchain projects, Veracity is one of the projects which has a real world use case and real tangible applications for blockchain technology. And I think that's really important and probably matches quite closely with what you guys do in Ultiverse as well. So what is Veracity? Veracity is an open ledger ecosystem designed to fight advertising fraud. So we provide open access to infrastructure for publishers and advertisers. Obviously, as we know, this channel right now is a publisher. Binance Live is a publisher, and publishers make up probably 99% of the web. So every time you read content on the web or you watch content, you're interacting with a publisher. So our primary focus is on VeraViews, which is our ad stack product, but we also have products in the crypto space as well. So we've got Vera Wallet with the staking ecosystem, and we also have the Vera card. I think we're going to talk about that a little bit in a bit more depth later on in the AMA. But essentially what we do is enhance the advertising supply chain, and we do this using our Proof of View module, which is an open ledger backend which stores data transparently and immutably on the blockchain. So this is how we bring transparency and trust to the advertising ecosystem.
Just amazing. Thank you so much, Elliot, for introducing about yourself and Veracity to us. And I am also, yeah, very happy to tell you, like, as you say, that Veracity is a publisher and Binance Life is also a publisher, right? Right now we have, wow, already close to 1700 views at the beginning of our live session. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, everyone. And I would definitely like to share today's our event banner with everyone because we already posted on Twitter, and we do hope that friends you could help us to like, retweet this event banner and let more people know that we are on Banaside right now with Ellie Verasity CMO to talk about how Verasity is going to transform transparency in advertising through VeraViews Proof of View. Over here, we will also select lucky audience who could help us to like, retweet, tag 3 friends, as well as screenshot that you are watching us on Binance Live right now. Then later, we are going to pick several lucky audience for you to win your individual crypto boxes. Thank you so much, everyone, for your support. And Ellen, we are going to come back to our topic over here. Thank you for the brief intro at the beginning. So we would like to know that we have seen Veracity getting many more patents from different countries, right? And recently obtained another US patent for its incentivized video technology. This is something new for me and also for our audience. How is this different from your previous patents? Could you please let us know what previous patent like Versa already received and also the recent one and the difference between them? Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. So I'll probably start by sort of framing that question about why patents are important to us as a project. So as I said in my intro, one of the reasons why I chose to work with Veracity and why I think it's a great project is that it's solving real world issues. And what we haven't seen a lot of in the blockchain space to date is sort of a traditional approach to business, and taking those traditional measures I wouldn't say a normal company, because I think crypto companies are becoming sort of the norm, but like a traditional company would take to protecting their business assets, protecting their IP, and ensuring that they have the capacity to use their solutions, and essentially become a unique offering in the space. And this is why patents are very important. I say patents, I'm British, patent as well, I think is the US way to say it. And when we talk about patents in the space, they essentially protect our intellectual property, they protect our technology stack. They also are what I would call proof of uniqueness. So a patent is only granted when a technology is sufficiently unique that it warrants its own patent. So for instance, you can't go and patent like a coffee mug, unless it's a sufficiently different type of mug, for instance. So to bring that analogy to advertising, there are many different types of invalid traffic and fraud prevention technologies in the space that already exist, but none that do it how Veracity and how VeraViews do it. And this is why it was incredibly important for us to prove that our technology is totally unique and the only technology that uses blockchain to prevent fraud in advertising campaigns by seeking that patent protection. Now, as you mentioned, we have patents worldwide. So we have patents for proof of view in the USA already. That patent has been issued for many years now. We also have a patent for proof of view in China, Hong Kong, Singapore, South Korea, and Eurasia as well. So really, we have sort of global coverage of our proof of view patent across the world. That's really important because proof of view is sort of the keystone that holds our ecosystem together. So when we talk about VeraViews is the product, and it's powered by proof of view. And I often speak about this sort of like Intel Inside. You buy a computer, that computer is the product, but it's powered by an Intel chip. VeraViews is powered by Proof of View, and Proof of View is patent protected across the world. So nobody can copy what we're doing and how we store that data on chain and how we validate and verify views, and how that data is stored transparently. And I think we're going to talk a little bit later about why advertising fraud is so important, and why we should prevent it, and why that data transparency is important. But for now, just going back to the patents, we also have other technology stacks and facets to our technology that include rewarded video. So you said they're incentivized video, incentivized, rewarded. So essentially what this does is it covers video in which the user who is watching the video is rewarded for watching that video. So it doesn't necessarily have to be an ad. It can be any type of video. So for instance, if they were watching this back and they received a reward for watching it. We also have the patent now in the USA, and we're applying in other jurisdictions for rewarded video. Now, this is very important because obviously rewarded video is becoming very big. We have quite an open-ended patent, which covers a lot of facets of rewarded video. And that is, we believe, going to represent a significant revenue stream for us in the future, in licensing this technology to companies, such as gaming companies and large, entertainment companies that want to reward their viewers for watching a video. So we think this could become quite a significant portion of our quite a significant product vertical in the future. We previously called this watch and earn. So in Verasity ecosystem, it took the sort of shape of watch and earn, and we made this available on Vera Esports. So Vera Esports was a project that we had in the works last year and sort of the before last year, which was primarily to test our products, so VeraViews, and to test Proof of View, and also to test Watch and Earn. And now we're taking all of those products that have, they had their use case proven through Vera Esports, sorry, and we're making them commercially viable and commercially ready. So we've already done this with VeraViews. We're already live with clients, and now we're going to go and explore how we can pursue a commercial rollout for rewarded video, which, as I say, was previously called Watch and Earn. So patents are, just to bring it back to the question about, why are patents important for us? Why do we have patents from many different countries? And, a little bit about why we try and secure so many patents. That's what differentiates Verasity from being a pie in the sky idea, which I think, a lot of us who've been in the crypto ecosystem for a long time know that there are a lot of projects which launch but don't actually ever bring their idea to fruition, and they don't achieve commercial success. These patents separate Veracity from those projects. We actually do have real world use cases that have been proven through patented technology, and they're live and being used with clients today.
Wow, thank you so much for explaining, all the details with us. This is definitely something new, at least for me, right? And I believe also for a lot of our audience, because it's a combining blockchain, advertising, and also patent. Also, it seems like Veras very care about growing your product across different countries, right? Because you have to receive patent not just in the US, but also, just like you mentioned, in different part of the world, also do that. That is amazing. And now I would like to also shout out to our over 2,200 views over here. Thank you so everyone for joining us, because, well, as we all know, right now we are in the kind of like in the middle of a bear market, right? So we still appreciate everyone would like to spending your time and watch and join our AMA sessions together. I am going to share my screen over here. Thank you so much to our Binance Live team as well for featuring our AMA picture over here, our banner on the front page of Binance Live official website. And everyone, you can just click on this banner and then you can join our live session. If you are watching through different social media platforms, feel free to join us on Binance Live as well, because now we are live streaming across YouTube and Twitter and Twitch, and but only we can only drop crypto box rants over here on Binance Live. So friends, join us, and also please also go to our Twitter and then give our Verasity a follow over here. And Ella is a CMO from Verasity, and Verasity is a advertising technology based on open ledger principles and the first patent ad tech protocol on the blockchain. This is the very first one, very first project combining advertising and blockchain technology, and also receive patent across different countries. So, which is really amazing. Friends, be sure to give and a follow. Also, follow our VeraViews over here. Right, so within the Verasity ecosystem as well, and you could learn more about it at veraviews.com. So, friends, there are a lot of information we're sharing right now. Don't worry, because we have replaced after our 1 hour live session. We'll have about 2 hours of on-site replay, and also after that, our Binance Live link will be forever able to watch the replay over and over again. So be sure to share the links to other friends who are interested in learning more about blockchain, with our Verasity CMO Ellen over here. Once again, thank you so much, Ellen, for your time. And we are going to come back to our topic over here as we are seeing our views are growing. And we would like to ask Ella, the next question is, you mentioned that this new patent further protects Veracity's tech stack. Could you please also share more information about this, and also how does this strengthen Veracity's position in the market? Thank you.
Yeah, it's a really great question, and probably to go a little like off piece. So we've got you mentioned there that we're in a bear market. I think that's probably pretty obvious to anyone who's been in the crypto industry now for more than 5 minutes, that it's a tough time. It's a very tough market. Certainly for me, I've worked in crypto, as I say, for many years, and it's probably one of the most prolonged periods of bear market activity that we've seen to date. And I think it's probably caused primarily by outside factors. So obviously globally, there's a lot of things going on in the world today that are making conditions tough for people. I do think that we are going to see a market shift and a new cycle very soon, and this is really important there about what you say about how does it strengthen Veracity's position in the market. So it's hard to stand out in a bear market. It's hard to stand out for any project. One of the things I'm most proud of at Verasity is that we do stand out, and we frequently stand out among many thousands of projects, and we frequently reach top spots on socials. And I know that a lot of our existing community that may be listening in, and they hear us talk about socials a lot, and they want some other developments, this sort of thing, one of which we just announced a partnership today, actually, which I'm sure we can talk about a little bit later. But nevertheless, it's very important for keeping our position in the market and strengthening our position in the market, ready for when the cycle changes. And this is also why we're so keen on patent protection, but not just patent protection, but also strengthening our business practices, because all that we can do at the moment, while the market is like it is simply build. And I think for anyone looking in from the outside, it's very clear that that's what we've done for the last sort of couple of years. We have built like a phenomenal amount of tech, not only through VeraViews launching as a whole standalone project. I probably ask people to consider that this time last year, VeraViews had only been a product, a standalone product on its own, for just 1 month. And fast forward now, we have many different demand side platforms on board. We have publishers on board. We've grown the team many times over, so we have a huge commercial team for VeraViews, and we've also to relate this to your specific question, we've also added a multitude of new patents to our business. So there's always things going on in the background, and the team is very busy. we're not just busy with sort of empty hype. I know there is a lot of hype in the blockchain industry, and there's a lot of hype in crypto. What we're doing is we're actually building the foundations. Well, actually, no, so the foundations are built, we're live with clients. What we're doing now is building on those foundations, building out a really strong ecosystem that has live clients and real world utility, so that when the next cycle comes, whether that's in 6 months or whether it's in 6 years, I hope it's not 6 years, but it really doesn't matter. Veracity is going to be here. We've been here since 2017. We've been building out a very strong core ecosystem, not just on the crypto side in terms of community, but also from an actual business and utility side through patents, through a tech stack, and through a product that people, or should I say companies, actually want to use. And our core demographic there, our core sort of target audience, target market, sorry, is publishers. So we're building out an ecosystem that's very attractive to publishers. It's going to help them increase their ROI in what is essentially, we've talked a lot about the market. Let's not forget that other sectors of other industries are also feeling the pinch, on a global scale too. So it's more important than ever at the moment for publishers to be protecting their revenues by reducing fraud. And this is why we feel that we're very well placed at the moment to develop and deliver on our ecosystem and deliver on our business on our business goals. All of the foundations, as I said, have been built. This includes patents, but it also includes all the work that we've been doing in building up VeraViews as a standalone product, and also taking that product to market through events like Cannes Lion, where we just launched, where we just held a really big networking event, and also just breaking in as a challenger. Essentially, VeraViews is a challenger app breaking into the advertising industry. And in terms of how big of a challenge that is and how much progress we've made, it's really, really quite impressive. We are really pushing forward on brand recognition in the advertising space. A lot of companies now have heard of us, and they've heard of what we're doing, and that we're trying to bring transparency to the space, especially here in the UK and London, which is one of the biggest advertising ecosystems in the world. And that's really how we're going to strengthen our position in the market, is by being a revenue generating company that has the power to weather whatever is going on in the wider markets, because we're a business with clients and we're live in real use. So I think that's really important to talk about.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, Alan, for sharing the information with us. And I also, have fond memory. Well, after I post this AMA banner and link on my Twitter account, I started to see the community members from Verasity ecosystem. They start to spread the news, and this is really amazing. Especially just like you said, in the bear market, projects are very difficult to stand out among the crowd, right? Because maybe not many people are paying attention to the Web3 project, but I could see that Verasity ecosystem has a lot of traffic still, and I could also envision that when the bull comes back, wow, this is going to definitely grow bigger really fast, right? Thank you so much for sharing all the information with us. And also shout out to our audience over here so far. Wow, we have already got over 2,800 views. Thank you so much, everyone. And be sure to share our AMA banner and link, as well as like, retweet, and follow our Veracity on Twitter. So later we're going to select lucky winners. And today we have prepared a lot of questions for Elliot, the CMO of Veracity. So we would like to right now focusing on talking with you and asking questions to you, and then later I'm going to use other times after our live event session, I'm going to use the rest of time to select the winners. So friends, everyone, you got plenty of time, okay, to help us to like, retweet, follow, and share. I would like to share my screen once again, because today it's a great opportunity that we have our Verasity CMO Ellen over here to talk about advertising and transparency, and also to talk about combining Web3 technology over here, and also about patent, right? So the next question, yes, definitely also related to our previous one, because Ali, previously I remember you talk about advertising fraud. What is it? And also, could you please, let's focus on advertising fraud and also Veracity, and yeah, talk about VeraViews as well, and also yeah, give us some introduction
Mhm.
to the advertising industry, because every day we are watching different kinds of ads, right? But yeah, how about what is advertising fraud, and also yeah, talk about the fraud problem and why Veracity is trying to solve this problem. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. This is actually going to be probably a bit of a long answer. So let's first talk about the publishing ecosystem. So I mentioned there earlier that pretty much everything we see online is a publisher. Even things that we traditionally see as social media, like Twitter. I find it very hard to call it X. So, but X, and Twitter, it is really a micro publishing site, and even things like Facebook, they have a lot of publishing elements. You have a lot of publishers which are quite big, and independent publishers now, which really found their beginnings on social media. So one of the ones that comes to mind here in the UK, and I think maybe more globally now, is Lad Bible. Pretty much started on Facebook, and now they're an international publisher. So most of the web as we know it is powered by publishing. Now, this has sort of transformed in recent years, and we're seeing a lot more video publishing. So things like these sorts of videos, but also we've obviously got YouTube, but then we have a whole other subsection of commercial publishers. So many brands, we can think of a brand as being any sort of brand that we buy day to day. So I always use one that's known globally, and that's either Adidas or Nike. Brands have they very much realize the potential of video advertising to achieve their commercial goals. Now, the problem is with the advertising industry online is a little bit like crypto exchanges. A lot of it is automated, so they have automated trading and automated placement of ads, and this is called programmatic. The programmatic advertising ecosystem. So programmatic ads are essentially a an ad exchange where um, brands, such as Nike or Adidas, would bid for the advertising space to show their advert on a video. So in the intro to a video, or perhaps as you land on a website, a small pop up would appear, and there'd be a video playing within a what we would call an iframe. Now, this industry is worth hundreds of billions of dollars. So advertising itself is worth, hundreds of billions of dollars, well over $100 billion in the USA alone. But unfortunately, it's pretty rife with fraud. And what we mean by fraud is essentially, we call it in the industry invalid traffic, or IVT for short. And essentially, what this fraud is are bots. So we always hear about the bot problem. Elon Musk is always talking about the bot problem. We have bots on social media, but we also have bots that exist simply to land on websites and watch adverts. Now, we always come to this point, and I always realize that I forget to talk about who is incentivized to run these bots. So, why are these bots even a thing? Who is making the money here? Now, the advertising supply chain, the advertising industry, we often think about one brand and a publisher, and we think, okay, so the brand says to the publisher, we want to place an advert on your website, how much? But it doesn't work like that in reality. In reality, just like any other industry, digital industry, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of intermediaries in between that facilitate that process, and they facilitate that transaction. So in between the brand and the publisher, we'll have DSPs, we'll have their demand side platforms. We have SSPs, which are supply side platforms, so supply and demand for adverts. We'll have like an ad agency, an ad network, and we'll also have, you know, marketplaces, and also things that do similar to what VeraViews does as an invalid traffic prevention tool, and all these sorts of intermediaries in between. Unfortunately, within this supply chain, there are many intermediaries who are perhaps not totally honest. So obviously they make money from the amount of traffic and the amount of views that are on an advert. So naturally, if they can deploy bots to pump those views up, they're going to be paid more for their campaign than if they only had organic traffic. Now, obviously, the problem for the brand is very clear. The brand loses out on their revenue because they're paying for a certain amount of views, which they don't actually get. And they estimate that at least 1 in 3 views on video ads is a bot. So we could take a third of their advertising budget and throw it in the bin. And I always use the analogy of, imagine paying for a television ad, and all of those televisions, a third of the televisions that they're paying to be on, are just in a warehouse playing to nobody. They're just playing adverts out to nothing. This is essentially what ad fraud does online. The intermediaries in the middle, they're still making money. And the publisher at the end, there's 2 types of publisher. So there's the publishers which profit from ad fraud because obviously it inflates their numbers and it makes their platform look great. And what we see often, these publishers will be you know, criminal groups that spoof websites, or they'll basically clone a popular website and they'll inject ad tags into that website to make it look legitimate. So they'll be pushing their numbers up through bots and stealing advertising budget. And then there'll be honest publishers who genuinely want to prevent fraud because they know that it's good for them as an ecosystem. And if a publisher can prove that they're taking steps and measures to prevent fraud, then they're more likely to get repeat business and higher spend from advertisers. So there are obviously many, many honest actors in the supply chain. We exist right at the end of that supply chain. So we exist as the ad is played to a user. So we use our proof of view technology to identify whether that advertising view is actually real. And we use a lot of different touch points in order to do this. And I know that one of our next questions is about VeraViews. So I'll talk about the exact mechanism there. But essentially, that's what we do. We prevent fraud and we serve ads. So we are an ad stack. So we would sit inside a video player. Right now, we're integrated with the Brightcove player, but we're very close to launching a solution that's going to let us sit across many different video players. And we essentially help brands and publishers run their adverts and show adverts to viewers in a fraud-free environment where everything's traceable. And then we have partners, one of which we announced today, that are in the advertising supply chain. So we announced literally 15 minutes before this interview that we had partnered officially with Alchemy Exchange. Alchemy Exchange are another decentralized crypto and blockchain based company. And they're also based in London, and they use blockchain to ensure transparency within the supply chain. So in that supply of adverts, like I say, it's a little bit like a crypto exchange where ads are being bought and sold, and inventory and views are being bought and sold in a sort of automatic bidding system. They sit in that part of the industry, and they ensure that all of that is done transparently on chain. So it was a really good sort of opportunity for both of us. We can ensure that there's transparency on the front end when that video is actually watched. And they can ensure transparency in the supply chain when those ads are coming through the intermediaries and being sold into the marketplace. So that's the ad fraud problem in a nutshell. But one of the things that's very important to talk about is also why is it important? So we often talk about ad fraud. It's a $80 billion problem, probably going to be $100 billion by 2025. That's how much it will cost advertisers. That's how much they'll lose. But we sort of think, well, okay, that's fine, but it's just brands losing that money. Like, why should we care? We're not losing money. When we watch an ad, often, we we won't be spending anything to watch that ad. Us as a consumer, we're not actually losing any money to ads, to ad fraud. However, ad fraud is implicated and linked to a lot of different criminal organizations. So ad fraud actually rivals the narcotics and drugs trade now in terms of money that is generated for criminal enterprises. And these criminal enterprises are also doing things like, human trafficking, arms deals. They're, buying weapons to fund wars, and they're often located in countries that turn a blind eye to them doing ad fraud. So globally, it's a very important problem. It funnels a lot of money into things like extremist groups and into things like criminal organizations. So it has to be stopped, and it has to be stopped at its source. And the only way we believe that you can do that is through a fully transparent ecosystem, or a fully transparent technology. And that technology is blockchain. And that's why we have a synergy with Alchemy Exchange, and why we announced today that we're partnered with them, because we both believe in the power of blockchain to prevent fraud.
That's great. And congratulations to the partnership announcement as well. And also, thank you for letting us know about the importance of the advertising fraud. And we all need to be very cautious about this. And just like you say, right, a lot of social media platforms like X or Twitter, they only focus on bots, but not really, well, maybe not yet really focus on fraud. Yes, indeed, we could see a lot of advertising fraud. And even on like Google's, when we do a Google search, right? Sometimes popping up on the top of the search results were actually advertisings, and they were actually phishing links and not the real one. So everyone need to be very cautious about it. And just like LAR CMO at Verasity says, this is a very huge market, and we do hope that Verasity and VeraView could take on these problems. So that goes to our next question. What exactly is VeraView? And also, friends, I'm going to share, I am going to mute my, I have another, alarm. Okay, rings. Okay, I'm going to share my link over here really quick, okay, to let everyone take a look at our VeraViews over here, because right now we're going to talk about what is VeraViews and why is it important to Veracity's business goals, and what does VeraView do, and how does VeraView use your patent technology. And first, friends, if you have not give VeraView a follow on Twitter, be sure to go find them. It's very easy to search VERA_VIEWS VeraViews, and it is an open ledger advertising ecosystem built around proof of view, or POV, IVT, fraud identification technology. This is very important, just like earlier, just let us know, right, how bad the advertising fraud is. And we could also learn more at veraviews.com. So friends, be sure to give them a follow, and we could learn more information together. During the bear market, the best thing is that we could finally slow down a little bit and learn, right? That's great. And thank you so much for spending time with us. Let's come back to our topic. What exactly is VeraView? What does it do, and why is it very important to Veracity business goals? And also, how does VeraView use your patent technology? Thank you.
Still muted. So I've spoken a little bit about VeraViews on like a high level, and what it does, and what we do through VeraViews, and that is we help publishers protect their advertising campaigns from fraud. So essentially, publishers are our target market. And as I mentioned in the last question, there are a lot of honest publishers, and I would say the majority of publishers are honest. So they want to prevent fraud, they want to get the best returns for their advertisers, and they also want to protect their users, as you said there, from scam ads, from phishing links, and from other, I would say nefarious goings on. So one of the things that they can do to do this is work with a transparency provider or work with an invalid traffic prevention provider. Now, there's a lot of different invalid traffic prevention companies out there on the market already. Obviously, not going to name any, but there's some big ones, and they work well, or they appear to work well at preventing invalid traffic. But unfortunately, a lot of what they do is in what we would call a black box solution. So although they're working in the background to prevent fraud, there's no real way to actually tell how much of that fraud has been prevented, and you really have to rely and trust on the campaign statistics that they're giving their publishers. So let's say, for instance, a major publisher wants to run an advertising campaign, and they're told by their IVT solution that, let's say, 95% of invalid traffic, so bots, were blocked and were discounted from the campaign. Now, really, they have to take that information at face value. They have to trust what their invalid traffic prevention technology provider is telling them. With VeraViews, we can actually, you don't have to trust what we say, you can verify it on the blockchain. So that's always been a phrase, like a sort of a mantra in blockchain: don't trust, verify. Well, that's the principles that VeraViews is built on. So a sort of a hash of the data that occurs during an advertising campaign on VeraViews is stored on the blockchain, and both the advertiser and the publisher can see exactly what went on during that campaign. Now, in terms of VeraViews and its front end and the actual user experience, we're very passionate about removing the obstacles for publishers and for users to use Web3 technologies. So VeraViews is Web3 enabled, but you never actually need to be sort of blockchain savvy to use our solution. For a publisher that is going to be using VeraViews, it would look exactly the same as many other platforms that they're used to, and they can use it very seamlessly. So we have a front end and a campaign management suite where they can manage all of their advertising campaigns. And we also have things like a statistics backend in there, so they can see, how many views they had on an advertising campaign, how many unique clicks, all these sorts of metrics they would be used to in other advertising stacks. So in that regard, VeraViews is very much like many other advertising ecosystems, except we use Proof of View, obviously, in the back end to prevent fraud. However, we don't just use Proof of View. Proof of View isn't, and blockchain aren't our only technologies. We also have a mix of other technology, which includes artificial intelligence and machine learning. So we use AI and machine learning in order to read big data sets. So obviously, one of the publishers who we've already announced that we're live with is the Times of Israel. They have over 10 million monthly independent views on their website. So when we're talking about data sets that are in the tens of millions and with bigger publishers in the billions per month, we really need to use sort of cutting edge AI and machine learning in order to aggregate and make inferences, make decisions based on that data. So some of those decisions could be identifying whether a significant amount of those visitors came from an IP address that's associated with fraud, or they came from a geographic region that's associated with fraud. They can be looking for known blacklists and known bad actors that we remove from the final campaign statistics because they're very likely to be fraud. And we use our data that we collect during the live campaigns to actually train future AI models. So we're actually contributing to AI model training to make these algorithms more powerful at preventive fraud. So that all contributes to our ecosystem and makes us more effective. Right now, we run at around 97% IVT detection and elimination rate. So 97% of invalid traffic bots are removed from those final campaign statistics. This is a few percentage points higher than we would typically see in existing solutions. So not only can it do it transparently, but the advertising stack that we built, VeraViews, also does it to a higher rate. So that's why we're really excited about what we built, and also going back to some of your first questions, it's why we've patented and protected it as well.
Exactly. Wow. Yeah, those are very important. Thank you so much for combining two questions together, right? To talk about the goal of VeraViews and also VeraView in the Verasity basic goals and and as well as why applying these pendants are really important. And we would also like to say hi to our friends over here. Wow, we already got just I didn't look at it for a while, and then no, we already got over 4,000 views. Thank you so much, everyone, and please let us know like if you have additional questions and post your questions on our Twitter so that our VeraView team can read those questions. And in the future, we'll definitely find more time to answer the questions for you. And Elliot, you are definitely a great speaker, and we still have about 6 questions to go. So I'm going to condense these six questions into 2 broader questions over here. And the next question we would like to talk about is how does VeraViews use the VRA token and ensure its effective utilization, considering Verasity's strategic partnership, privacy measures, and global expansion plans? Thank you.
Yeah, so I mean, this is always one of the most important questions. We have VRA as our ecosystem token, and how do we actually utilize VRA, and what is the utility for VRA? So there's utility within the VeraViews ad stack, and there's also utility in our other crypto-facing product verticals. So to start off with the utility in the VeraViews ad stack, when you create an advertising campaign, when an advertising campaign runs, I'm sure many people listening in would probably be familiar with either Google or Facebook ads or something like that, Meta ads. When you are running a campaign, you have to make funds available in order to run that campaign. So let's say, for instance, you want a campaign to run for 1 month, and you want it to reach a certain amount of people, so you build your audience out. And then you set a budget for that campaign. So let's say you want it to run for 1 month, and you want to spend $10,000 on a campaign. What you would essentially do is, I mean, nowadays on Meta and Google, you would link a card. And on other advertising ecosystems, you would have to put those funds into you'd have to pre-fund the advertising campaign. And when we're talking about a commercial advertising campaign, not one on social media, but a really big advertising campaign across a big website, that's generally how it's done. So we're the same. If you want to run an advertising campaign on VeraViews, you have to make the funds available for the duration of that campaign. You have to put them into an escrow contract in VeraViews. So essentially, how that works is they can fund their escrow campaign in VRA. So they would buy VRA from the open market, and they would put it into an escrow contract, which is then held and used to fund the advertising campaign as it runs. Obviously, a lot of publishers may opt to pay in fiat, in which case we can use that fiat, that normal fiat currencies, and use them to buy VRA and put it into the escrow contract for them. On the other side, in the crypto ecosystem, we have Vera Wallet, and we also have the Vera card, and we're exploring the launch of a native payments app called VeraPay as well. Vera Wallet offers a staking ecosystem. So we currently offer VRA staking at 15% until the end of next March. So March 2024, that rate is locked. There is a limit on how much VRA can be staked into our ecosystem, but there's always new staking spots opening up. So do go and check that out if you're interested in staking. And we've recently launched through our partners at Damex, we've launched the Vera card. So the Vera card is live with UK users now. I actually have mine here. If I can cover the card number.
Oh,
So we have the Vera card. And this is a Visa debit card that you can load up using your VRA balance, and you can actually spend in real stores. So that's live with UK users. We're already exploring the rollout with Damex to European users. So that'll be the next sort of jurisdictions that will get the card. We hope to have an update on that very soon. And then we'll be looking further afield. So, if you have a lot of followers in East Asia, we're probably going to look at rollout of the Vera card in Asia as well. And the best utility for VRA in Vera card is that you can use the staking rewards that you've generated in Vera wallet. And we have functionality that allows you to send them straight to Damex. You can top up your card and you can actually use that, in real life to spend on real goods. So it also creates liquidity for VRA as well.
Wow, exactly. And this is actually how what you just showed me, very cool. This is actually connecting with the next question that I would like to learn more about. But before we ask Ellie Lyceum at Verasity the following question, we are going to once again share our screen and encourage our over 5,000 views already. Wow. Friends, encourage everyone to jump to your Twitter or X handle, right? And then search for Verasity over here, and then you are going to find our event poster. Give Verasity a follow, also follow VeraView and follow LA Lyceum at Verasity, and like, retweet, share this as well as screenshot like you are watching us on Binance. I know a lot of friends already get a lot of rounds of crypto boxes, right? Stay tuned, stay here. After this live session, we have 2 more rounds of replays, and then after that, Binance, the platform, they're going to have a link that could be replayed over and over again for everyone to watch, because I know we share a lot of very important information in terms of blockchain technology plus advertising, right? And we also need to learn how to protect ourselves in with the advertising frauds, and how VeraViews and Verasity are helping us to tackle these issues together, right? So friends, these are very important topics that relate to our everyday life, especially when we are searching online, when we are in the Web3 space, right? So be sure to come back and join our replays later as well. The next question we're going to ask LA Lyceum at Verasity is, we know that Verasity has collaborated with a lot of great companies and institutions. And you just show the Vera card, right? It recent launch for the UK residents, and also about the roadmaps for a lot of innovative products. What is the reaching strategy for Veracity's growth? How do you plan to grow your project, your team, your community, especially right now in the bear market? Also, could you please highlight some key milestones and ambitions for Verasity ecosystem in the near future? Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. So the first part of that question on companies and partnerships that we work with. So probably one of the most important ones that we sort of got underway at the beginning of last year was our integration with Brightcove. So they're one of the biggest video players in the world. They are a NASDAQ listed company. And they have over 3,000 publishers that use their ecosystem. We're also an Amazon Ads partner. I don't think we talk about that enough, but we're part of the Amazon Ads partner network. This gives us access to not only a huge amount of publishers and advertisers, but it also gives us access to a lot of resources and developer materials so that we can build products and services that serve the Amazon ads ecosystem, which is quickly growing to become one of the biggest in the world. We're also part of the IAB, so the Interactive Advertising Bureau is the biggest. It's basically the biggest industry body in the world for advertisers, and we're also part of TAG Group as well, which is the Trustworthy Accountability Group. And these sort of IAB and TAG are basically the seal of approval that you are doing things transparently, that you're doing things within regulation, and within best practices for the advertising industry. So we're very, very proud of those accreditations. They mean a lot to VeraViews, and they also are basically essential for us to sell and market our technology. So the fact that we have those is very important. I don't think it can be understated. And we're also working on new accreditations and memberships all the time. So we're always looking to join industry initiatives. Obviously, we have other partnerships. So we have a lot of technical integration partnerships. One of those we announced today with Alchemy Exchange. We're also integrated with Hoopla Digital, which are a digital supply side, advertising supply side, demand side platform, sorry. And we also have other integrations with other DSPs. In terms of how that translates into what we're going to do in the future and why that's important for us, essentially this year has been about taking the data from the first sort of data that we generated through case studies and we generated with the first publishers that we use in VeraViews, and building on their feedback and improving our product. Now, part of that, as I mentioned it really briefly earlier on in the interview, is that we are building out our ad stack so that it can essentially run across pretty much any video player in the world. So loads of companies use many different types of video player. We can think of sort of YouTube and Twitch as being, like peer-to-peer sort of social media type video players. But in terms of companies, we have things like Vimeo, we have Dailymotion, we have the JW player, and these are all used in a commercial setting very frequently to play advertising content. So we need to ensure as a primary business goal, as a primary milestone, that we can easily be deployed through all of those video players, and that vastly opens up the amount of publishers who we can market our product to. So that's very important, and that's going to be one of our key milestones going forward. In terms of milestones that we've already achieved this year, obviously I'm CMO, so I'm biased, but I think that our rebrand, so our brand refresh and our new marketing materials has been a massive success. It's really positioned us well for the next cycle whenever that comes. We now look like a really modern crypto blockchain technology company. You can see some of the branding, the new branding behind me. And if you head over to verasity.io, you can see our latest website. And I think you'll agree it looks very modern. And obviously we've been around since 2017, so it's very important that we keep evolving. The other major milestone is obviously the Vera card. So the launch of the Vera card, we've had to do things very carefully and methodically with our partners at Damex to ensure that everything is done according to regulation. So there were a few hiccups along the way in terms of how fast it was rolled out, but it's been rolled out now to all users with no waiting lists in the United Kingdom. So anyone can apply to that. If you're in the UK and you haven't yet, it's now open. You should get your Vera card in literally in a few days. And as I say, we're going to be rolling that out to other jurisdictions. So that's a real success story as well. And I think if you head over to our roadmap and see what we've done this year, there's a lot of things going on. One of the things that I think is most important and probably a good thing to finish on is that we do have a huge community, and we do have a really engaged community. And one of the things that they've been most engaged on recently is our tokenomics. So our tokenomics, have sort of changed over the years to accommodate some of our business goals and to accommodate, some of the utility for VRA. However, the way that we communicate it has, typically needed to shift as well. One of the things that we've done now is we've actually opened up, and it's pinned on our Twitter if you head over to Twitter, is we've opened up a community consultation on our how we move forward with tokenomics. So if you are already involved in Verasity and you want to have your say on our tokenomics, how it's communicated and how it's designed, do go ahead and fill out that form. We have around 500,000 community members, and we definitely don't have 500,000 feedback yet. We've got a lot, but we want to make sure that we have as many responses as possible on that before we make a decision, because that's likely going to steer the project for years to come. So do go and have your say on that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, really great AMA, and thanks for having us.
Thank you so much. And Elliot, before we wrap up the session, could you please maybe later you can find time, or maybe the team member can find time to share the AMA link on our comments of our AMA banner, so our audience could have an easier access to it. Thank you. Yeah, because we know that getting feedback from the community is definitely important, right? And highly recommend all of our audience over here, please do help us to fill out the form and share your thoughts as well. And once again, friends, it's very easy to spot today's AMA banner across different social media platforms. We are featured on Binance front page, and we also have this banner on our Twitter accounts. And friends, be sure to help us to retweet, take 3 friends, so more people can know that we are sharing this event banner. And later, the Verasity team, they are going to post another link over here in the comments, and then please help us to fill out the form as well. And after our replace, we are going to select friends who have followed all the instructions over here, like retweet, tag 3 friends, and follow our Verasity official Twitter handle, as well as screenshot like you are watching us on Binance Live. Then we're going to select some lucky winners to give you your individual crypto boxes. We will do this after our 2 rounds of replays, because this is a very busy day. Oh wow, yeah, I know. Even this bear market, but builders are still building. Verasity is still very busy, working every day and around the globe. Okay, so we're going to do this later, and please give us some time. And right now it's a great chance for us to all slow down a little bit and learn about the combining Web3 technology and advertising with our Verasity team as well as VeraView as well. Once again, thank you so much, Elliot, for spending time with us. I really learned a lot. This is eye-opening AMA session for me, and I believe this is also the same for a lot of our audience as well. And I will definitely watch a replace again as well. Thank you.
Thanks, Moonlight. Yeah, it's been a great AMA, and I don't think we're going to slow down. I think we're still going full steam ahead and getting everything ready for the next cycle. So really great to be here, and thanks everyone who tuned in. And do go ahead and share it on social media and follow us at Verasity Tech on Twitter.
Thank you, Elliot, and we will see you around. We'll definitely fill all the form, friends, and come back and watch our replays. And Elliot, feel free to click on the Leave the Still button to continue your day or take a break. Thank you. Okay, friends, and we are going to play our ending video. Don't forget to come back and watch our replays. Okie dokie, we are going to end our live sessions for now, and we will do replays. And as promised, after the replays, we're going to choose winners from our comments who retweet, tag 3 friends, and share screenshots. Okay, thank you. And we are